Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight live at 6. I'm Abel Garcia.
And I'm Melissa Bethencourt. Trisha has the night off. From our economy to the latest on immigration, last night President Donald Trump gave a nearly 2-hour State of the Union address.
That's right. It is his first since taking office for a second term. Many of you weighing in right here at Channel 13 with your thoughts on the speech. Our senior reporter Mary Keeler, she joins us now live in studio. And Mary, you actually went out to our community. You're talking to locals. What did they have to say about this speech?
I absolutely did, Abel. What I found today is that people either tuned in last night or skipped it altogether. But they want to see the proof behind what the president is saying about the state of our country. Some of you watched as President Trump addressed members of Congress and the American people Tuesday night.
It was chaotic. I mean, it was the same runaround, same rhetoric. It's a little show. And that was cute, but we need some results. We need some answers. While others did not, like Ken and Carol Bandy.
Our nation is back, bigger, better, richer, and stronger than ever before.
He's a born salesman, and
that's
all
liar,
he does.
liar, liar.
Was it deliberate that you didn't watch it?
Very.
Deliberate, yes.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
I mean,
2 hours worth of lies.
Yeah, and I mean, it's basically to the point where, whenever I hear his style and his rambling, it's just, zone out
And his side stands up and cheers for whatever he says, even if he's being mean to anybody.
At least 380 of you across our valley commented on our social media platforms, wanting to hear the president talk about cost of living, tariffs, and more. While Jason Manningham says there were uplifting moments, he wants to see proof that things are as good as the president says. Do you feel like America's been become more affordable again since he took office for a second term?
It fluctuates, so I think it's a game. I mean, it does fluctuate. Those in power, making sure that we fluctuation of up and down prices, so that we think something is changing, but nothing really is changing.
And a new Ipsos poll of nearly 2,600 U.S. adults reveals more about America's take on how President Trump is doing. Notably, 64% of those surveyed disapprove of his handling of tariffs on imported goods, while 34% think the president is doing a good job on that. And overall, 39% of Americans polled approve of Trump's leadership. And now we're going to bring in our senior political reporter, Steve Sebelius. Steve, you heard from a gubernatorial hopeful earlier today with his take on the tariffs.
Yeah, that's right, Mary. Attorney General Aaron Ford today is challenging his rival for the governor's mansion, incumbent Joe Lombardo, to do more to protect Nevadans from the rising cost of tariffs. Ford spoke at a news conference at Taco Terrian, a local chain of 5 stores, where co-owner Regina Simmons says she's facing higher costs for produce, which has forced her to raise prices. I asked her directly about Trump's repeated claim that foreign governments pay the cost of tariffs.
No, I'm paying for that. Our people is paying for that. No other country's paying for it. We do it. Do have to raise prices because we have to make it. We call it survival mode, literally. We all as restaurants, we are in a survival mode.
Ford said Lombardo should use his relationship with President Trump to get relief for local small businesses, but Lombardo's campaign said Ford did nothing during rising inflation and high gas and grocery prices under former President Joe Biden. Now, Trump also said in his speech that tariffs would eventually replace the income tax, but figures from the Congressional Budget Office show tariffs wouldn't even come close to the amount paid by American taxpayers. Melissa?
Thank you. To help break down the biggest themes and real-time takeaways from last night's State of the Union address, I sat down with Dr. Sandra Cosgrove, a history professor at the College of Southern Nevada. I spoke with her about the key priorities outlined, the tone of the address, and what stood out most. Here's part of that conversation. We know that President Trump spent a lot of time talking about the economy, everything from lowering cost, jobs, and growth. What stood out to you the most about how he's framing the economic moment for Americans right now?
Definitely, he talked a lot about affordability. And I think he was talking about it in a way we haven't heard him talk about it for quite a while. Wasn't talking about tariffs or the problems he's having maybe with the U.S. Supreme Court, but really how are his policies impacting average people?
I want to talk now about immigration and border security. We know it's been a major topic now for the past several months, especially with the current political climate. Talk to us about those themes in the speech. How central was it to the overall message of last night's address?
I think it was less central than it has been in the past, but it definitely came up. But again, I didn't hear a lot of policies. So are we going to fix our immigration policy? Are we going to get work visas and that type of stuff squared away? We need to hear more policy.
And again, that was just a portion of my conversation with Dr. Cosgrove. You can watch the full interview right now up on our website. That's ktnv.com. We also want to hear your thoughts on last night's address and the impact you think some of the proposed policies could have. So please reach out to us. Just go to ktnv.com/letstalk and fill out this form.